So for Christmas, hi, I got a selfie stick thing. It stands up about 3 feet tall, and I have my camera on it because my daughter-in-law knows I like to make YouTube videos, and she wanted me to have this. I think it's working. I don't like when I turn my camera sideways. It's very difficult to know where to look. I guess that's the camera, right? So I'll look at that there. Oh my. Okay, anyway, so I get this really cute shirt on. Great bell sleeves. And and you can't see it because the camera's sideways. I don't like when the camera's sideways. All right, so let's go back to what I want to talk about. So I don't know. I had like this enlightening, this awakening, this realization. Um, Most recently, I guess. Many of my years of these later years in life, like about the age of 50 and on, I started to question if what I chose in life was right or wrong. Sometimes I said really horrible things like it would have been better if I hadn't had children. I wasn't a very good mother. And that hurt my children's feelings because they were here and I wasn't thinking. But I felt that way. I felt that way for a lot of years. Like, wow, maybe I should have like forced myself through college because I was not a book learner. I mean, let me rephrase that. I could read things like chiropractic at home, practice chiropractic at home, and catch it just like that. And I actually adjusted my own family of 5 for many years because who the hell can afford, $50 times 5 every month? We couldn't. And so I learned how to adjust the children and my husband, and I would go to the chiropractor when I could afford it because no one could seem to figure out how to adjust me. Even though I tried to instruct them. It's kind of like something you almost have to feel as well as understand. And I'm good at that. Hands-on, that's me. I love to create things, right? And I got into herbology and homeopathy, and those things I loved and understood and wanted to do. But giving me a math book, and I can do really, really well up to pre-algebra, and then my mind explodes. So I'm not mathematical. I think that's left brain, right? I'm not. My former sister-in-law always thought, because she was a counselor of sorts, she thought that was from abuse as a child, and I don't think it is. I think it's something that just doesn't happen in the brain. Some things I understand and some things I simply cannot grasp. I was always like that. Had a really hard time with math as a child, and my poor father would try to help me evenings after he'd been working so hard all day. God bless him. Anyway, so back to me and my career, my life. From my young teens, I wanted to be a wife and mother. That was my goal. That was my desire and my wish. I wanted to have a ton of children, and I wanted to live on a farm. And unfortunately, I married a merchant, not a farmer. He made that very clear when we bought 7 acres of land in Virginia, and he started plowing the field for me, and he said, I got to go to work. And I said, you're not going without us. So we all piled into the van, and off we went. And that was the end of my farming dream. And that's okay. Who knows what would have happened? I don't know. But he did what he loved, and I supported him doing what he loved. And that was great. We traveled. We went to so many places. We covered the United States, all the states, except for Hawaii and Arkansas, 3 times over in 2 years. I'm not quite sure why we did that. Then one year, I asked him to take me to Alaska because I had the vision of being a bushwoman. So, in my mind, let's do the Wilderness Family. Whee! And he humored me and he took me. He drove me all the way to Alaska. And my dream was shattered because I'm thinking it's the wilderness and the wild and nobody's out here. So we take this plane and we're flying over the land that I'm looking at. It was homesteading land, about $9,000 for, I don't know, 10 acres, something like that. And one thing that influenced me was the woman at the office, the homesteading office. She said, this land will kill you. People don't understand the power of nature in this environment. And that stuck to the back of my mind. And then we're flying over this land and I said, well, how are we going to get building supplies out here? There's barely any trees on this property. And he said, oh, once the lake freezes over, you're going to have hundreds of thousands of snowmobilers everywhere. Well, that was the end of my thought of the Wilderness Family and being on our own. There was no wilderness anymore, not really. You could helicopter in, you could put everything on a snowmobile and a trailer and pull it all up there. I was so disillusioned, so sad. So we went to Idaho and we found this mountaintop piece of land and we bought that. What a fun trip that Alaska trip was. Oh God, if you've never done it, you need to do it, but plan on a month at least. We got to the gate in Canada and we said, we want to go see Alaska. And he said, how long will you be gone? I said, 2 weeks, and he laughed. And he was right. We had quite a bit of adventure. It started snowing because it was October, and we slid off the road. Actually, I was driving, and I was only going 30 miles an hour, and it didn't matter. We started to spin. I was terrified because it was a very steep ravine, and I didn't know what was going to happen to me and the kids. And I think the lovebird was with us too, maybe the ferret. And I couldn't stop the sliding. I just straightened the wheel out. I let go. I let it do its thing, and we woom, woom, woom. And then we pushed and started to go down the ravine and stopped. I prayed a lot back then, and I don't know if there's a God or if he heard me, but we stopped. Anyhow, so over the years, I've mostly been a mother, but I've helped my husband with his business. First, he joined me in the home and office cleaning business. We did windows, we did office floors. I learned from scratch, but I had been a housekeeper since I was 15. Started with my uncle's house, and then I just started putting ads in the paper and going and cleaning for local people. I was good at it too. And then, but mostly I just wanted to raise my children. I wanted to be their influence. I did not want the schools to take them and mold them into something they wanted them to be. I had my belief system and I wanted to give that to them, but I also, I was a little inflexible. All right. I was very Christian and I wanted them to be very Christian, and 2 of them are freelance Christian. One is an atheist, approximately, but not sure. And the other one is a pagan. One of my 4 children. And now I've accepted all that. At first it was really hard because I was still hardcore Christian. But now that I'm don't give a damn to believe in anything, I don't know what I believe in, and that's okay for now. I accept where they're at too, So I wanted to form their minds, and I also wanted them to question. And I always told them, I said, look, don't believe me. Look into things yourself. I said, eventually you're going to be adults. You're going to decide for yourself. I understood that. And and the other thing I always told them is, you don't need school. Anything you need to know is in a book. Let's go to the library. And we did. We spent a lot of time in the library. We spent a lot of time crafting and doing things with our hands because they were not book learners either. We tried. Oh God, we tried. We tried every curriculum. I spent thousands of dollars and they were not book learners. Eventually, as they got older, and I guess their brains developed, one of them would say, hey, I need to learn some math. And so I would buy a math curriculum and give it to them, and they finish it in 3 months, a whole grade. And this is how they were learning. And one said, we need better reading skills. And I found this phonics fun program at, like, it was called Price Outlet or something like that, Off Price Outlet, up in Littleton, New Hampshire. And I bought that, and they were like reading humongous words, and their skills just blossomed, the two boys. And it was things like that we did. It was pretty much unschooling. My son would say, hey, Mom, do you have a 5th grade math book? And I always had books. I loved books. I picked up books from every yard sale and every flea market and every antique store. I loved educational books. And believe it or not, even though I was not a book learner, but if I found something that looked easy or very understandable, and then I researched a lot and I read a lot, and I was on the internet when finally in 2000 we got our first computer. I was totally against computers and technology and all of that. I wanted to be primitive and, be the wilderness family. So, that was always in my mind, and not anymore. I like city living, not inner city living, but I love the suburbs, and I love everything being at my fingertips, so, and that's how they learned. And then my son Dennis got a high school program, I think from Stratford Careers. It was one of those, home curriculum thingies. And he finished that, and then he went on to get his GED, and he's had several careers in his life. He worked for Publix, supermarkets. He worked for photographing vehicles for big car dealerships in Tampa, and now he's an Uber driver. And because with all the shortages, he saw the writing on the wall that he wasn't going to have a job soon with photographing vehicles, because there aren't any. And so he immediately gave his notice of 2 weeks. And, it's amazing. My kids are such incredible, hardworking people that, the dealership people, they came to him and said, anytime you want a job, you could sell cars, whatever you want to do here, we'll hire you. That's how all my children are. They're extremely good, hard workers. They have excellent common sense. They can figure things out. They are exquisite, really. And that was what I wanted to say, that enlightenment, that realization, that understanding that I received in my heart this year, the end of this year. I'm on a lot of Facebook groups, and a lot of them are aging and older and women, and the saddest theme I keep hearing is estranged from their children. I don't know what I did. I don't understand what happened. They resent me. They hate me. They won't talk to me. I don't have that. My children had such care and concern as my husband was ill and failing. And even after he killed himself, they understood. My youngest is having trouble understanding. He didn't leave a note. He didn't tell anyone. And how could he? If he told anyone, we'd be complicit. He couldn't. Oh, God bless him for what he did, the strength he had. I still can't believe it sometimes, but the care they had for him, the care they had for me after I lost him. And, Mom, you can come live with us, and we'll find a bigger place. And, and I was like, you know what? Let me breathe. I don't know who the hell I am anymore. I was wife, mother, then the kids grew up, then I was grandmother, and then I was a friend to my kids, and then I was a caregiver to my husband, and then my husband died. And now I am a single older woman in a little trailer by herself, and I'm enjoying it. I like it. I'm like, this is the first time in my life I have ever lived on my own. Do you realize that? I always lived with someone. I never lived alone, and I want to experience it. So I'm trying to find ways to be able to afford this and stay here, because the rent goes up more than the Social Security survivor's benefit will go up each year. I have options such as letting my children pay me for babysitting, but right now I don't need that and I don't want to do that. If I don't need it, I'm not taking it. That's my duty as a mom and a grandmother. I love helping. I love being there for them, and I like to do their dishes, their laundry. I like to straighten up if I can. Right now I'm really sick. I got bronchitis and I have really bad allergies, and thank God the worst of the chest stuff is gone, so I'm feeling much better. But oh my God, I'm going on over 15 minutes. But my children love me. They're my best friends. They're so caring, concerned, and wanting to be helpful. It's just beautiful. And I made the right choice. My goal in life was to mold the best human beings out of those little babies, to make them caring and loving and giving and make the world a better place. And you know they have. I remember from very young, people would constantly compliment my children, what kind and wonderful human beings they were, conscientious and just wonderful people. I'm a success. I'm a success. I picked the right career. Wife, mother, friend, instructor, teacher, nurse, chiropractor, homeopathist, naturopath, herbalist. I've done it all. I'm very proud of it. And now at age 63 and a half, I'm going to go forward and find out what else do I like. I want to broaden my horizons, my interests, my talents. And I'm not looking to make money out of anything, though, you know, if I stumble across something so that I can make an extra $100 a month. But see, here's the problem. When you start making extra money, I mean, why would I want to make $100 more to lose $200 in food stamps? That would be very foolish, because then I would not be able to eat as well. So I have to be careful in, you know, just that extra $50, $49 a month. They took away food stamps from me, which, you know, it's like they're cutting off my nose to spite my face. I mean, we're talking about $834 a month that I live on, and most of that goes to expenses. And then, but I understand the program. I understand how they figure it. I wish it was a little more flexible, especially for people my age on a fixed income. What would be nice. I also could lose my Medicaid if I make too much. So I have to stay within certain parameters, so that I don't lose benefits. And then, you know, the money that I would have made to save and to have a better life would have to go back to food and health care and things like that. And I already have to pay $45 a month for my chiropractor because I missed 2 months and I'm in trouble. So now I'm going to have to start taking muscle relaxers again, which I really don't like to do. I don't like drugs, but I'm going to have to do that. So, yeah, what you choose in life. What I chose, I feel I have great success. I remember my former sister-in-laws looking down at me because I didn't work. I beg to differ. I worked like a dog. I helped my husband with his business. I took care of the children all the time. My husband was gone a lot of the time working. He was on the road. He was out buying. We didn't see him a lot. I did all the education. I did all the nursing and care when they were ill. I was an excellent money saver and found ways to get the most for our dollar. I was mom, and I was there all the time. And, you know, they really appreciated that. They appreciate it more today, I think. They understand how those experiences molded them into the wonderful human beings they are today. and they're all successful. I'm very proud of them. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And this is my new pod. Should I show it to you? Let's see if I can lift.